exosomes. So the next topic I want to cover is something I'm sure that we've all heard of. I'm sure that we're all being just, leveled with questions about peptides in our clinical practices every day, every week. And there's a couple things I'd like to state that are opinion based, but these opinions are based on readily verifiable facts from the FDA, from the regulatory authority in the United States, who has the final say. First, what are we talking about? Peptides are short chains of amino acids with biologically active effects. There is not a question that they are biologically active. The common peptides talked about within orthopedic applications are BP-157 and TB-500. They do not have any regulatory clearance to be used in humans in the United States currently. There is one peptide that I love, and I recommend it for the right indications. Back in the day, my friends used it in sports. It has saved about 1 billion lives since 1922. Anybody know what I'm heading towards here? The peptide is insulin. And the reason I bring it up is because peptides by nature are not bad. Peptides have been around for a long time, and we know that they can have significant effects on human biology. In addition to insulin, we have the weight loss peptides like semaglutide, Mounjaro, Wegovy. We just don't have FDA clearance for the ones that are being talked about as potentially beneficial in orthopedics. And so that's a problem. We cannot use those off-label if there is no on-label indication. So what's happening? People are talking about this on podcasts, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, in the gym, and people are going to websites like the one shown up here on the left, where they can buy a bottle that has BP-157 and TB-500 in one vial, multi-use vial, and the cost is like $130. So very, very low bar, not very expensive for a patient to try if they've been told that, I've used this for the last 6 months and look at me. So it's a low bar. The problem is on that same vial, it's going to say for experimental use only, not for sales and use in humans. The quality of what's in that vial is unknown because it's not regulated like a drug. And so that is the fear of people going out and injecting themselves with something they buy off the internet from essentially an unknown source. And here's really the facts. Peptides are not approved as a drug. They're not approved as a biologic. They're not approved as a dietary supplement. I've seen some supplement pills that are purported to have peptides in them. There's no approval for that either. They're not approved for any medical condition, and they're not in any FDA database of cleared therapeutics. Right now, we have no FDA authorized investigational new drug study for BP-157. So if somebody tells you you can just be part of this study, it doesn't exist. And all of these things are searchable online. There are no current legitimate human clinical trials in the US that I'm aware of. Happy to update this if somebody has better information. Everything quoted online currently is rodent or animal data or unregulated anecdotal use. The FDA categorizes it as an unapproved research chemical. And so as a result, compounding pharmacies are also prohibited from compounding it legally under 503A or 503B. And what that really means is that these peptides, BP-157, TB-500 as 2 examples, are not on the FDA bulk ingredients list. They don't have USP monographs, and they're not part of any approved drug product. And so right now, compounding pharmacies are in an extremely gray, if not very black zone, if they are compounding those 2 compounds. Additionally, if you're taking care of athletes, high-level athletes, WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association, currently bans BPC-157 because it's under a non-approved substance list. So lots of reasons to be optimistic, a lot of reasons not to use it right now clinically unless you, cross your T's, dot your I's, and you start that FDA study if you're going to be doing this in the United States. And so now we're going to